Hello. I didn't see you there. Today, me and my co-host Maisie are going to talk about how the French Canadians immigrated to the United States of America. Let's get started. Okay, so the Canadians originally didn't want to come to America. They were almost pushed out of Canada. They they were made fun of for their political beliefs and their religious beliefs while they were in Canada, so they thought, why not go to America? So they came to America. And most Nova Scotia French natives were expelled and traveled to America to be safe and get back on their feet. Some of the main reasons French Canadians wanted to come to America, well, you just burped. Some of the main reasons French Canadians wanted to come to America was because of better job opportunities and an easier way to support their families. Ain't that right, Maisie? Yeah, she agrees. Neighborhoods. Some of the main churches are St. Peter and Paul Basilica, Holy Family Church, Prince of Peace Church, and the main hospital is St. Mary's. This hospital serves over 3,000 people a month, and it is a real impact to the society of Lewiston, Maine now. Many Lewiston natives were furious that the French were moving to the area because that would mean that they would lose their jobs to the people who would work for less, meaning the French. And they were scared that the French would really just take over their way of life in Lewiston, Maine. French Canadians in tight-knit communities. In order to recreate the streets of Quebec, they made their streets narrow and one-way to make through traffic less desirable for the locals. Stay tuned for an awesome interview after the break. And we're back! I have found this elderly couple from Lewiston, Maine, and they were wandering around, and I asked if I could interview them. Are you ready for the questions?
I'm ready.
Okay. Do you think life for French Canadian immigrants in Lewiston, Maine was hard? If so, what are some of the reasons life was so hard for them?
Yes, I think life was hard for them. They were coming to a country where they didn't know the language, and they needed to find jobs, and they worked very hard, a lot of them in the shoe industry. They didn't have very good places to live, all of them. Some of them had to live in old or not so good tenement buildings in a bad part of town. And I think, probably at that time there was probably some racial bias against them, from the natives.
Would you like to comment, sir?
Well, she covered basically everything that I was thinking about.
Yeah. What are some of the reasons that you think French Canadians wanted to come to the U.S.?
Opportunities. There were the mills, so those for employment, and raise a family, and an income. And
yeah. If you are a French Canadian immigrant in the 1920s, how would you feel about leaving your home country and venturing out into your unknown?
Oh, I think it would be quite frightening.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, when you see this photo, what do you recognize it, and where is it?
This is the Bates Mill Complex, and
Main Street, Lewiston.
Longley Bridge. I mostly think of the Bates Mill. That was one of the biggest employees in the area during the textile industry, and also shoe shops were another big employer for the area.
There used to be a lot of them. There are hardly any now.
Do you know the nickname that the locals call the area?
Little Canada.
Yes. This has been News Weekly with Ryan Pratt. I hope you learned a lot tonight, because I sure did. This has been News Weekly. Good night, Seattle.